PRAAAAAA! What's up my people, my name is Spicey and today we are reading I got revenge on my ex-girlfriend for cheating on me, stock-up car dealer, and finally, befriended a girl after she rejected me for a university club position for her unqualified friend and made her sign a 1-year lease in a crappy unit. But before we get into the story of how a guy got revenge on her cheating girlfriend and destroyed her relationship with her father, congratulations Admiral Akbar for the comment of the day, and everyone leave a fire emoji in the comments if you think the video is fire. I got revenge on my ex-girlfriend for cheating on me. This happened years ago when I was around 18 and I was dating a girl I had gone to high school with. We had been together for about a year and towards the last month of our relationship, things started to die out. We would not talk as much and she never had time for me. She claimed she was always working at her family's grocery store. Her family had their own business for years. It was a small grocery store that at one point while I was in between jobs, I even worked at for a short time. Her family were lovely and me and her father got along great and still chat every now and then because I was always working or studying. I didn't go to parties and had set goals for myself early in life, which her father thought was awesome. So anyway, back to our relationship. Because we both work, we only had the weekends free, so usually we would do our best to spend time with each other. But she had grown distant and I had not thought anything of it. But one weekend, I received a call from a friend of mine who tells me she had seen my girlfriend out with another guy. I did not want to believe it. I was devastated. But I thought before I throw any accusation, I will get my own proof first. It took me almost 3 weeks to convince her to spend time with me. When she agreed and came over for a night after work, I had planned on confronting her to find out for myself. She arrived shortly after dark and told me she was going to take a shower. She went into the bathroom but had left her phone with her bag and keys on the table. I did what anyone who has been told they were being cheated on would do. I went through to see for myself. And what do you know? She was cheating on me with her ex-boyfriend who was a dirtbag. You see, he was one of the kids at school that messed around, never came to school. He was out smoking and drinking instead. I never really interacted with him outside of being asked for a lighter for a cigarette, but he was also selling illegal substances at school. I've always thought people who sell illegal substances to kids are dirtbags. Not cool at all, bro. I found out she had been going to see him on the weekends to do illegal substances and drink as well as sleeping with him. There were messages talking about how I was too nice or focused on work too much. How she is only with me because her family loves me and I can handle that if you tell me that, not cheat on me because of it. I would rather leave a relationship freely. This hits me really hard and messed with my perception of women afterwards. I had never been cheated on before and didn't know how to handle the feeling, but I was not going to let her do me like that. Here comes the sweet revenge. You see, in those messages they had been talking about needing money for alcohol or illegal substances and not having enough. This conversation led to him convincing her to steal it from her family business. She had been getting away with almost $800 or so every weekend as well as stealing items from their shop. So I thought fast, screenshot all the messages and sent them to her father from her phone. I told him it was me and that this is what I had found in his daughter's phone. Shortly after she had finished up in the shower, I told her we were finished and I knew everything. I told her to leave and I had a surprise for her when she got home, to which she was confused about. She left after that and I received a call from her dad who was apologizing to me for his daughter's action and sounded almost as devastated as I was. He told me he had already called the police and they were waiting for her to get back home as well as collecting her ex-boyfriend as an accomplice. I was shocked but thankful that I had cut dead weight from my life in just a fraction of a second considering she cheated on me. She got to spend the night in a cell with her ex and was ordered to pay back the amount by a judge and given community service. He, on the other hand, happened to have previous warrants out and I don't know what happened to him after. I wiped my hands clean of her and moved forward. But man, that felt so much better that she at least got some punishment as a result. Before we get into the next story with a scammer car dealership, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you want to help me grow this channel and give me the opportunity to make better content, then please consider subscribing. Thanks! Stock-up car dealer. I am from Norway and I was working as a car mechanic for some years as an apprentice. This means that I don't get paid a lot of money for a usually good paying professional in Norway. So I didn't have a lot of money and I was looking for a new car that I could use as a commuter car. So I visited a used car dealer. I found a Volvo V70 2004, the type of car I was looking for. So I asked one of the salesmen that I wanted to take a closer look at it and take it for a test drive. From the start of this encounter, I got a feeling of hostility. This was just after I was done working, so I was still in my work clothes. I got some plates for the car and he told me, "You can place them yourself." I was not impressed with this service. When I got around to testing the car, I found out it was going in limp mode and there were some other issues with it. They wanted close to $7,000 for it. I know Volvo and have owned several of the same kind, so I know the prices for parts and what they are worth in this bad condition. When I get back to the store, I tell them about the faults on the car and I ask them how much playing room they have on the price. He told me there was no room for lowering the price. At this point, I was a bit annoyed. I proceed to tell him the price of the parts I will need to fix it, about $3,000 to $4,000 in parts, and then do the work. So I offer buying it for $2,500 and he grins at my offer. He then started going on a rant about how useless and broke I must be to have another mechanic do the work for me. I was never going to pay someone to do it. I was going to do it myself. I was going to give him a bid of $3,500 and just sell the car more on the high end when I was done with it. But after this, I told him, the fact that I am a car mechanic is a benefit for me and I will not pay a higher price than what it is worth. I told him that if I buy it for that amount, I will lose $3,000 to $4,000 on my end. We went a big back and forth and I went to my car to cool off. When I was sitting down in the car, I see a shady guy walks out from the workshop. He got in the car I was testing and went on a drive. After 2 minutes, he returns. He then looked under the hood and looks dazed into the engine bay. I went home a bit down. It was a good car that was like 18 hours of work to be 100%. When I got out of the shower, I see that the sales dude was calling me and I had 4 missed calls. I answer the call and he then starts to blaming me for ruining the car and that it was all my fault. In that moment, I was so mad. I told him I didn't do anything to the car. I was driving it for 3 minutes. It is in the same way when I started and when I left it. He called the police and then they came to question me. The shop had my info from the test drive. I give my statement and I don't hear anything for about 2 weeks, other than some emails from the dealer that ordered me to pay them the small amount of $10,000. And I did not have that amount of money to just give away. At this point, I was getting calls several times when I was at work and my off time. I called the police to get some information on the case. The officer told me that I was not at fault and that I did not need to pay the claim they were sending me. They then told me that they had found that the car was that way before I drove it and it was not my fault. Then they asked me if I wanted to press charges for blackmail. When I heard it, I saw big money. I left work and filled out the police documents. To make it a bit shorter, the dealership was found guilty for blackmail and needed to pay me a settlement of $4,000 for impeding my work and slander. I also requested a formal apology from the manager and the salesman. I saw the anger in their eyes and I was loving it. I gave them a 1-star review on Google and left a comment and used the money to buy the same car from another dealership. I fixed the new car and then went back to their dealership and waited outside the car so that they see me and my new car. I love the system when people think they can screw over the working people. Befriended a girl after she rejected me for a university club position for her unqualified friend and made her sign a 1-year lease and a crappy unit. At the end of my year of university, the clubs were hiring for executive position and I applied and interviewed for one of the positions. There were 2 interviewers, 1 male and 1 female. Let's call her Karen. And after it was done, I saw the male interviewer later in the day and we started talking. He said I did really well and should get selected. Next week, I find out I was not selected and the person who was did not even care about the club or know enough about the position. I knew that person through a mutual friend and so I knew that person was totally hired because they knew Karen not by qualification. So I reached out to the guy who interviewed me and he straight up told me, Karen had more say in this and said her friend will be a good fit and we should hire her and call it a day. What the F? I really wanted this as I love the club and this would have really stood out on my resume for internship applications. So after 1 term passes, I was in 2nd year. I saw the girl that interviewed me with a mutual friend and I decided to start talking to them. Over that term, we started hanging out more and I was even in an elective course with the girl and we decided to be in the same group as we were friends. I hated her. After the term was nearing an end, a bunch of my friends and I decided to lease a place for the next year. Everything was done and signed and we were good. Next week, I see Karen and she told me she was looking for a place for next year, so I took this opportunity to unleash my brilliance. I told her me and a few others have a place and need one other person. She was totally interested and just wanted to sing a place quick before going home for the break. I went online and searched up crappy places and saw one that was overly priced for the garbage it was offering, and I sent her the paperwork. She signed and sent me the 1-month deposit, $700. 2 days later, I told her, good luck living with 4 guys in a 5-room basement with 1 washroom and no AC. It is going to be hard finding someone else to take over that bad lease. Instantly unfriended her on Facebook. Also, I did not hide any information, it was all in the lease document. She just didn't bother to read or look up the place. Hey, did you like this Pro Revenge video? If you did, check out my playlist right here, I bet you will love it. These videos take me a lot of effort to make, so if you can show me some support by liking the video and subscribing, this will mean the world to me. Also hit the bell button to know when we post a new video and join the notification gang. Thank you again for watching this episode of Pro Revenge. See ya!